Good evening and welcome back to the Frontline. My name is Tiffany Flowers. I am a brown skinned woman with dark brown locks. I have on tortoiseshell glasses, a red lip, and a yellow election defender shirt that's gold with a black emblem across the front. I'm broadcasting to you live from Baltimore, Maryland, and I use she, her pronouns. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is your first time with us, we've been waiting for you. And if this is a return trip, then welcome back, family. Like I said, am Tiffany Flowers. I'm the campaign manager, director of the Frontline. And the Frontline is a joint campaign of the Movement for Black Lives, Electoral Justice Project, the Working Families Party, United We Dream, and the Rising Majority. We came together in the summer of 2020 after 27 million Americans said enough was enough and they decided to stand up for Black lives. And we took that energy right from the streets to the polls. And here we are today, still rocking together on Election Eve 2022. ASL interpretation, before we go any further, ASL interpretation is available on screen throughout the program, and you can find access to simultaneous Spanish interpretation by calling the number at the bottom of your screen. To access captions for this event, please click the CC button on the video player. So tonight we're going to talk to my friend, my leader, the incomparable Maurice Mitchell, who's out on the trail, stumping, talking to candidates, talking to voters. Then we're going to talk to Angela, but look who it is, my friend and my leader, Maurice Mitchell. Maurice, I know the internet has seen you, the people have seen you, you're busy. Thank you for taking some time to join us on the Frontline Election Defenders.
There is no better place than here and with you, my friend.
Mo, I
Uh,
appreciate it.
um,
Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing.
okay, well, first of all, I am Maurice Mitchell. I use he, him pronouns. I'm a brown skinned black man with a dreadlock bun, um, a bomber jacket that has black and orange trim, and a black and orange Working Families Party hoodie. Okay. And calling you from Milwaukee. I've been hitting the road, talking to voters, talking to activists, been kicking off a bunch of canvases in Milwaukee, in Pittsburgh, in Philly. And, the streets are hot. There is momentum on the streets. Working people understand the stakes.
Mo, you was in Georgia. You forgot some turf, but okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Georgia. I'm sorry. Georgia, New York. Forgive me, family. I've not gotten the most sleep between. Yeah, I've been hitting the road. Yeah, Atlanta was amazing. Talked to folks on the campus of Morehouse, and yeah, man, from the students to folks at the Senior Center in Milwaukee to the folks in Pittsburgh and the Union Hall. People are excited.
Mo, before we move any further, just so you know, tonight, I think you know, is a pep rally, right? We have the folks, some of them have been rocking with us since 2020. They came back, some are brand new because they saw what we cooked up in 2022. Shout out to Nalini and the 2022 EDs. And so they joined us this year. So just wanted to give you a moment to offer a little gratitude, razzle dazzle to the people, because you and Nalini are some of the originators of this very vision. And here we are.
Oh my God, it's been amazing to see the outpouring of grassroots support, volunteer energy, all of y'all. We are our democracy, right? Our democracy is what we do every single day. It's not just voting, but it's us volunteering in order to protect our democracy. And the election defenders that took action in 2020, as well as the election defenders that are taking action this year in 2022 as a continuation, really are breathing life into our democracy at the same time that there's folks who are attempting to deny us our democracy. So it's really exciting to see everybody in action, and we have so much props and so much appreciation and solidarity and love to each and every one of you.
I'm so excited. The numbers, I mean, we still got people calling tonight, like, what could I do? So shout out to y'all. Just the biggest, juiciest, most grateful shout out to all of y'all. We got us, right? And we're showing up for each other every day. So Mo, you said you've been out talking to voters all over these great states of America. I'm sure you encountered at least one person who expressed a little reluctancy around voting. What are you saying to our folks that are like, I don't know, man, maybe if I got time, I don't know.
Oh, absolutely. Well, what I tell folks is I can't tell them why they should vote, but all I could do is explain to them why I vote, right? And what I'm not going to do is shame anybody or give them historical lessons about how our ancestors died for the right to vote or anything like that. But what I can do is explain to them all the reasons I vote. So number one, power. There are different types of power, right? And each form of power has a different lever. And so if we want to access electoral power, we need to pull the lever of voting. It's just one form of power. There's organizing, there's protest, there's organizing your workplace, there's engaging in mutual aid, there's political education. But if we want to access the electoral form of power, we have to vote. And as a people, everyday working people, Black people and other people of color, anybody that's been deprived of power, why would we leave any form of power out of reach? So that's just one reason. Another reason is that it actually counts. There's so many elections where just a handful of votes have made the difference. The margin of error, the margin of victory will be pretty small. We know that. We know that the last presidential was won just by a few tens of thousands of votes in a few states. So we know that our votes matter and they count, especially when we vote together, which I always like to encourage people, vote and then come up with a voting plan and get three other people to come up with a voting plan.
That's right. That's right. I'm going in the morning with my husband. That's our voting plan. We're gonna walk around to the corner to the school right after I do the first boiler room, Mo. You didn't ask about my plan, but I have one.
Right on.
So let's get into these races a little bit. Our party, the Working Families Party, rather. What are some races that we're watching and everybody should be paying attention to?
Well, there's so many races, and the Working Families Party, we endorse like close to 1,000 candidates up and down the ballot throughout the country every single year. We've been involved in elections in 29 states, but here are just a few that I think people should watch. So Mandela Barnes, I'm in Wisconsin right now because I believe in Mandela and I believe in the energy on the ground. And this is a critical battleground. So Mandela Barnes, his candidacy, critical to watch. Summer Lee, I was just in Pittsburgh with Summer. Summer Lee is a dynamic working class Black woman, a lawyer for the people, a state rep who won her primary against all of this dark money. And that dark money came back in the general election, gave Vasquez in New Mexico the congressional district number 2. Michelle Vallejo down in Texas, Texas congressional district number 15, a working families candidate in a purple district. So those votes really, really matter. Elizabeth Epps in Colorado. Elizabeth Epps is a true blue working families prison and jail abolitionist. And there was so much money against her, and she was able to build a grassroots movement to victory. Leah Webb, a longtime organizer and friend, Senate District 52 in New York. Check out Leah if there's anything you could do in order to volunteer for her. Maricopa County attorney in Arizona. That's a race that many people might not be checking out, but that's going to be a critical race. So look out for support Julie's race. And there's a number of candidates that we could still support through phone banking remotely, through texting remotely. And if you live in those communities, you could hit the ground and get involved in a canvas. And there's many, many other grassroots candidates, but those are just a few that folks should definitely keep an eye on.
Well, I love to see you get excited talking about the candidates and the people that we should be behind because there are people. It does always hypes me up. So there's a lot of excited races. There's a lot of things that we want quick answers to because we need quick solutions for our folks. However, Mo, we know that we're not going to all have answers tomorrow night. We may not have answers by Wednesday night, right? So when you're talking to folks about the process, how it works, and the fact that, like, it's not the days of old when our parents would put us to bed and we'd wake up with a new president and Congress. Like, we know that life.
Yeah.
That's not our life anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the way to think of our system of voting is that it's not centralized, right? There's not just one system of voting. It's broken down by state, and it's even further broken down by county, and it's even further broken down by polling place, right? So it's a decentralized system, which means based on the state and the county, we have different ways that we count the ballots based on the respective laws in each state. So basically what that means is that tomorrow night, we will not have the full tally of every single vote in every single state. And over the next few days and sometimes weeks in certain places like California, historically takes a long time to count every vote. We will learn the outcome of the election slowly, and we should all have patience and just understand this is the nature of voting, of counting hundreds of millions of ballots that are being counted the day of, that are being counted because we have mail-in ballots or other types of ballots. And it's just the natural way that we make sure that we count every single vote. And all of us should want to ensure that every single vote is counted. So we should have a little bit of patience to make sure that every single vote down to the one is counted so that we know that we have a complete tally. And trust me, in a number of these elections, every single vote will matter. It'll be down to the wire in a very, very small margin.
Cannot say that enough. Let the system work. That's
Absolutely.
how it's supposed to work. We're counting every vote. Mo, I have one more question before you go. I know you're a man on the move, but I got to know. I'm asking everybody tonight. What's giving you hope in this very moment? Because you're moving, you're talking, you're traveling. I mean, we're still in a pandemic, but you're risking yourself to go out there and actually beat these streets. So, what's giving you the hope to do it, Mo?
Oh, what's giving me the hope? I get hope by engaging with working people.
Yes.
Whenever I get engaged with working people on the ground in their communities, I am filled with hope. And that hope and that reality totally breaks the myth that we're too cynical, that we're checked out, that we're not ready, that we're not prepared. All these myths that these blind myths that they try to propagate about Black voters or Black men or working class voters or progressives or young people. I just came from a campus in Madison filled with young people that were excited, that were mobilized. I was at a line at an early vote center 3 days ago in Milwaukee, in the hood, with working class Black folks of every stripe, but many young working class Black folks who were excited, who were clear about why they were voting,
Yep.
the issues that I heard them talk about: abortion, about housing, about healthcare.
Yep.
Right? This idea that working class Black folks, for example, are a demographic that are confused about why they're voting. I didn't see that on the ground. I saw people who were sharp and clear and understood what was at stake. That gave me so much hope. Don't believe the hype. A lot of that hype is actually designed for us to feel the cynicism and to believe
right.
that we can't. Because if
That's
just
right.
a few of us stay home because we're watching the hype on TV about this idea of apathy, broad apathy of young voters or Black voters or working class voters or whatever, a few of us will stay home and think, you know what, this is bigger than me. We don't got it. That is actually the design of those lies. So I encourage everybody to pick up a clipboard, knock on
Yes.
some doors, and have that hope be renewed. When you're in relationship with working class people, honest folks who every day are trying to put a roof over their heads, trying to ensure that they can pay the bills and take care of their family, and you're wrestling with the challenges and contradictions of those folks, and you see, despite those challenges and contradictions, they still make sure to have a voting plan. They still make
Yes.
sure to educate themselves on the issues that they care about. You can't but not feel hope.
That's
You
right.
can't but not feel hope. So get a clipboard, knock on some doors. There's many opportunities today and tomorrow to knock on some doors and talk to real people and make sure that they have a voting plan, pull them out, ensure that they know the issues. You will be inspired.
Could we get more inspired than we are right now? I don't know.
We just
I'm
started.
ready to go beat my feet now. Yeah, no, for real. That's real, Mo. And I can't thank you enough. Like I said, I know you're off to another event to help inspire and share more information and make sure folks know exactly what they need to do to be ready for tomorrow. So, leader, friend, comrade, and homie, it was so nice to see you. Stay safe in those streets. See you on the other side.
Thank you. Heading out, gonna knock on some doors.
All right,
Doing
friend.
this for the politics. We were doing it because our communities had worked really, really hard, had showed up around COVID, had showed up in the streets to defend Black lives, had showed up to vote, and we weren't going to let anybody's voices be silenced.
And now we are about to be joined by my colleague and the director of the Election Defenders Program, Angela Peoples. Angela, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Tiff. I am fired up, ready to go. Thanks to Brother Maurice. And I'm just really happy to be here with you on this eve of the end of voting. I feel like we can't say election day anymore, because everyone votes, like lots of people are voting at different times, but we're almost done with the voting part, which is amazing. And I feel really great about what we're going to see tomorrow.
I do too. And before we get into it, could you just give a description of yourself to the people? And then I have some juicy questions for you related to election defenders and how you're feeling. And we're just going to get into it.
Great. Again, hi, everyone. I'm Angela. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a brown skinned Black woman with long Black braids. I have gold frames with we call this like a maroon lip. And I'm wearing a neon yellow Safety Squad shirt, which is a part of our beautiful election defender swag repertoire. And I have a septum piercing as well.
This swag, everybody put on some swag tonight. Yeah, I'm repping that
Yes.
logo.
Get into it.
Yeah, so that when we get to that part of the program and people know how to look for our folks tomorrow, you'll see this emblem. So, Ange, let's get right into it. What should people know about voting tomorrow?
Well, first thing that they should know about voting tomorrow is that it matters. It is so important. And I know that we are used to hearing that this is the most important election in our lifetime. And I don't know about our lifetime because hopefully we have a lot more life to live and have a lot more elections to vote in. But this is a pretty critical one. And what I want people to remember is, here at Election Offenders at the Frontline, we are very much vote and, right? We are not here to tell you that voting is the cure-all pill. Voting is one tool in our toolbox to make sure that at the very least, we can have a say in the playing field and the terrain with which we are fighting for the issues that matter to our communities. And so your vote really, really does matter. Our good friend Inse in Georgia said something at the sort of top of our kickoff of this program that really has stuck with me, which is that the folks that are on the ballot this year are the ones that are going to make a decision about whether or not people are the will of the people matters in 2024 and into this foreseeable future. So if it matters to you that we continue to have elections, that we continue to have a say, that we continue to have a democratic process, not just for presidential elections, but for local elections, for your mayor, for your city council, for your state representative, and so on, this election matters, if for nothing else, for that exact reason. And so that's the first thing I want people to know about voting tomorrow, is that it matters. And don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. The other thing that I want people to know about voting tomorrow is that there may be some new rules in your area. There may be some new rules, some new things that are in place, that you might have to have a new ID. You might have to have a particular card. Your voting location might have changed. That doesn't mean that that you shouldn't be voting. It doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. It just means that things are switched up. So you need to have a plan. You need to be prepared. Go to vote.org to find your polling location and to find out the information that you need in order to vote at that location. And the last thing I'll say, which is less about voting and more about the results on that we might be getting tomorrow, which is that it is very likely that we will not know the winner in most of the races that folks are tracking tomorrow evening. And that's okay. In fact, it's actually a good thing, I think, because it means that lots of people have voted. Lots of people voted early. Lots of people voted by mail or absentee. And that just means that there's a lot more votes to count, and we want every vote to be counted. And so if you don't know, who won your race when the polls close at 8:00, it's cool. That's not a problem. That's how it's supposed to go.
Yes. Count every vote. And you know what I love about our crew so much? We're very clear that voting is a tool and we're not going to shame anybody, but we do want as many people as possible to use that tool because that tool is one of our pathways to our future that we all want.
Absolutely.
Um, so in the spirit of knowing all the things that we just shared, and if you didn't catch what Angela said about your polling location, you can go to vote.org. That's vote.org. It's on your screen right now. And figure out, just so you know when you leave your house, right? No surprises. You don't get discouraged. You don't run out of time. Just maybe take a peek right now while you're listening to the sounds of our voices. What should people do if they were turned away at their polling location, Angela?
Yeah, so the first thing I would suggest is to, again, go to vote.org to prepare yourself so that you can hopefully address any issues that might come up that might tell someone that you're not able to vote. Confirm, you'll be able to check your registration, check your location, and all of those things. But if you are turned away, I would strongly encourage you to cast what's called a provisional ballot. Request that you be able to cast a provisional ballot. Those are basically a ballot that says, I'm voting, and there's a little bit of a lack of clarity on whether or not I'm able to actually cast this vote, but I'm gonna deposit my vote anyway, just in case if there are any issues that they can be addressed in the back end. And so when you cast a provisional ballot, that ballot is still registered as one ballot that was cast on election day. It gets included. And then there's a process called basically curing ballots. And this looks different in different states. But what you need to know about curing your ballot is that if you cast a provisional ballot and it turns out that there was an issue with maybe it was at the wrong location or you didn't have the right identification or anything like that, you have the opportunity to cure it or make it right so that it can be counted on the back end as a part of the final tally. So that's my recommendation is for folks to, if you are turned away at the poll, if somebody tries to turn you away, to first request a provisional ballot. The other thing that you can do is call 1-866-OUR-VOTE. If you call 1-866-OUR-VOTE, you can call and register your complaint. You can basically say, I was turned away at the polls. I don't think that was right. I don't think that was just. I don't think that was correct. And not only will that issue be counted among any other complaints or issues that might come up at that same polling location or in their community, but it also means that, again, if you call 1-866-OUR-VOTE and you cast that provisional ballot, folks will be able to track you on the back end. Maybe there is a legal issue that came up. Maybe there's multiple people at your polling location that got turned away for the same reason that you did, and that should not have happened. If you call 1-866-OUR-VOTE, if you kind of register your complaint, then that way we'll be able to track that issue. And if there is a need for some sort of legal action, a lawsuit or anything like that, that will be a part of that process.
Thank you so much, Angela. I hope everybody caught that, but we can run it back one more time. So the number that Angela shared is super easy, 866-OUR-VOTE. And you can call that number, like she said, for any issues when you're trying to vote and you feel like you were turned away. And please take advantage. Maybe take a picture of your screen right now. We don't anticipate it. We really are. We are quite prayerful and hopeful that is not the case. And if things go the way we hope, nobody has to use it. But there's always a chance. So please take a second, capture the number, and know that they're actual. It's not automated. You'll talk to a human being and they will take your story, your issue, and your location. So, Angela, we've got 1-866-OUR-VOTE to report a problem. We've got vote.org to figure out where exactly to vote. So this work that you've been doing and the team has been doing, and shout out to the whole team. I'm not going to say their names for various reasons, but you know who you are on the team. And I just want to say thank you, team. They're sending us messages right now as we speak on air. They're slotting volunteers into place, and it's really going to be an incredible day for the election defenders tomorrow. So, Angela, How will people know how to find our folks?
I mean, well, the first is we're the flyest ones on the block, as you can
I
already see. Okay.
mean,
The
I-
election defenders will have bright gold shirts on. You'll see our logo. Some of us might be wearing safety squad sweatshirts or t-shirts. We have some really cute hats as well. That is one way that you can identify us. We are also going to be there in community with a broad group of folks from across the state, across your region, that are all there ready to support you, to keep you energized, to keep you safe while you're at your polling location. I know many of us have heard reports about different types of threats that are looming on election day. And while I will let you know that our folks have been trained to respond to those threats, to be prepared to de-escalate in any issues, what I most expect on election day is a really good time.
Yeah.
What I most expect is for people to be there playing music out of their cars, encouraging you with very joyful rally type energy. So that's another way that you'll be able to identify election defenders. We're lit. We're going to be out here having a great time at the polls and encouraging you to do the same. Because despite how challenging it may feel, despite the kind of tensity and the rhetoric that comes with politics right now that can feel so heavy, the vibes are actually high. You know, Maurice talked about it during his remarks, that people are really are focused. They are clear about why they're voting. They understand what's at stake, and they also understand what the opportunities are. And so when you're at your polling location, you're walking up, you're not sure what to expect to see us. Expect to see election defenders. Expect to see folks that are reminding you that we're here to count every vote. Expect to see folks that are there to support you, that want you to be able to exercise your right with safety, dignity, and joy. That's what we're going to be here for. That's what we're going to be giving on election day. So look out for that. Look out for us. When you see us, shout us out. Let us know. We want to, love to take a picture with you. Love for you to share that on your social media. Because again, this is the as much as folks are trying to inject fear and anxiety and worrisome energy into this moment in our political history and our social history, we also get to choose the alternative. We get to choose the energy that we bring to election day. That's why election defenders and Joy to the Polls and our allies across the country, that's why we center joy. That's why we center celebration, because it's really hard to let that fear continue to rise up when people are doing the cha-cha slide in the parking lot. It's hard.
That's right. If you see people doing the wobble in the electric slide and you're mad,
it's a little hard to be like,
it's kind of you. It might be you, fam. Yeah, no, I mean that's what keeps me coming back. We're the Joy Squad. It's hard, heavy work that we do every day, but we do it with joy. We do it with compassion. We train people on how to keep each other safe, because ultimately that's really our position, right? We got us. We're going to be the ones to shepherd each other to the other side of whatever this is we're managing right now.
Absolutely.
And we're going to do it at the polls. We're going to do it in our communities. We do it in our schools. And this is just an extension of that love that we have for each other.
Totally. Absolutely.
So, Ange, I'm going to close with the same question that I asked Maurice with you. So, what's giving you hope right now?
A lot of things are actually giving me hope right now. I think the enthusiasm that I see amongst folks, especially Black men and elders in our community, that these are folks that have been through so much. I said earlier that it's hard to say that this is the most important election of our lifetime. These are folks that have been through a couple lifetimes. My parents, shout out to my parents in Southeast Michigan. They're not only voting, they're volunteering on election day. And this is not, they've been through countless elections, countless cycles, or people are telling them this is the most important election of our lifetime, and they continue to show up. They
That's right.
continue to show up and give their time to build this infrastructure, this country, this democracy that has always been fraught, has always been tumultuous and challenging. Our folks continue to show up, and that makes me so hopeful. I'll tell you one other thing that is giving me a lot of hope.
Please.
I don't know if you've seen the numbers, but the youth turnout right now, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. And especially in a moment where, again, there's a lot of intention and energy put into strife, into conflict, into making it feel as if things like fascists taking over our city, state, and local governments, our federal governments, is inevitable. There's a lot of energy in that. And I will tell you, as an 18, 19, 20-year-old, it would have been difficult for me to see the forest from the trees. But these folks get it. These young people, this is their first time voting. This is their, the folks that are voting because they have experienced gun violence in their communities, in their schools, and they know that that is not what has to be. They know that another world is possible. Right? These are people that, despite the bleakness that is being, that they may be seeing and experiencing in their communities, they see the broader picture. They see what's beyond that, and they're showing up with not a whole lot of receipts telling them that it makes sense to do so. They're continuing to show up without a lot of proof. That is hope, and that is faith, and that is what I got to hold on to as well. I might be a close to cynical millennial, but I'm not quite there. And I'm thankful for the elders in my life and for the young people that I see showing up every single day, especially for these elections, to help keep me grounded and keep me focused and steady, to keep moving through hope.
That's a word. And I'm taking all that in as we head into tomorrow. Yes. Angela, you know me, I'm one to always try to shine the light on the good things in the world. So while we're here with this audience, I really want to take this opportunity to shine a light on your leadership and show some gratitude. For the audience who doesn't know, Angela has been working so hard. She's the director of the election defenders, and I think she's told you on some other calls, she's also pregnant, and she's doing all of this and just
making a whole human
with so much grace. And I just want to say thank you to you, Angela, but I would also be remiss to not give you an opportunity to shout out our volunteers and the amazing election defenders who are with us tonight. Some of them are traveling, some of them are preparing to head out, and just show a little love.
Thank you so much for the love, Tiffany. I receive it. I appreciate it. It has been an honor and a joy to be on a team with you, to struggle and to plan and to troubleshoot and figure out all of the different pieces of this work with you and our whole team. Again, shout out to the team. Like, folks are working hours that are crazy. Weekends, evenings, early mornings, everything in between. So thank you all. And thank you to the folks that are going to be on assignment all day tomorrow, all week, really. Because one of the other things that we all have to recognize is that voting ends in most places at 8:00 your local time. And then there's a whole other set of work that we have to do to stay vigilant. So as I'm giving shout out and love to all of our volunteers, those of you that are signing up to work a shift tomorrow, those of you that have gotten on a plane or in a car to drive to an area to be an election defender, to be part of our safety squads, I also want to ask those of you that are watching to be prepared and to stay connected to us as those polls close and even into the early hours of Wednesday and Thursday and next week, because this is not, again, we're not going to know the results on election night, and there will be many races where we have to be meticulous and diligent and intentional and really on folks' ass, just to be real, to make sure that every vote is counted and that the will of the voters rules the day.
That's right.
And so I want to just say thank you to every single one of you that attended a training, that sent us an email. I was like, yo, I haven't heard anything. Where are y'all at? We got you. We're here with you. We appreciate you for staying on our necks so that we can get our resources into the communities where folks need to go. And then I also just finally want to thank all of the organizations in states that are taking the lead in setting the strategy, placing the volunteers, taking the resources and figuring out where they need to go, because that is incredible work. That's power building work. And we know that just like we started in 2020, we're building on that success here in 2022. We got more work to do in a couple of years, y'all. So like I said, stay connected to us. We're not just building and working to win and to get people to vote. We're working to build power for our community to change our lives. And so that's what this business is all about. Election Defenders is a part of it, but stay connected to the front line because there's more work to do on Wednesday, on Thursday, and all the way into the future.
Yeah, there is. And if you were listening to Angela and maybe didn't catch how to stay in touch with us, if you're not already down with the click, please, I know I've asked you to do a lot with your phone, but take it out and text Frontline to 30403. That is literally how you will stay connected to our work. That's how you'll stay connected. Listen, we're not in the business of hoarding information. If we know something, we're going to share it with you.
Definitely.
So we want to be in a position to share that with you quickly. If we all need to huddle up together on one of these calls because there's things to talk about, we want to be able to invite you. So please text Frontline to 30403. And we're getting ready to close out, friend. Is there anything else you want to tell the people about anything else about tomorrow, where to find us, or anything?
Stay up, y'all. Stay up. I personally am grateful that I don't live and die by the polls. I ride with the people. I ride with my folks. I pay attention to what the streets are saying. So stay up. There's an intention to create conflict, intensity, and to stoke fear. We don't need to buy into that. Our business is joy. We're in the business of joy. We're in the business of care and power for our people. And so just thank you. Please stay in touch with us. We'll be back. We promise to pass you on all of the information, like Tiffany said, that we know. When we know it, y'all will know it. If we need to gather again, we will. And just please take care of yourselves. Be safe. Don't forget, if there's any issues at the polls, you can call 866 our vote. If you're not sure where to go tomorrow, if you're like, damn it, I guess I am going to vote. We love this for you. Thank you so much. Go to vote.org so you know where your polling location is. And yeah, stay up, family. We love you.
Thanks, Ange. I'll see you probably in a couple minutes.
You know,
in the signal chat. The phone's been a buzzing. So thanks for all you're doing, and stay safe out here, and looking forward to getting through tomorrow together.
Absolutely. Bye, y'all.
Peace, Ange. Okay, friends. I'm going to run through this just one more time for anybody who maybe joined late or didn't catch it, right? So if we don't know where to vote, then we go to vote.org. At vote.org, you can find out where your polling location would be because, like Angela said, it might have changed. Maybe something happened at the school, so they moved it to a library, so on and so forth. We want to make sure you know exactly where to go when you leave the house because we know that's part of your voting plan. Next, should you find your place to vote and then you get there and you come to find that there's some problem at your polling location, please get out your phone and call this number. 1-866-OUR-VOTE, because these are our votes and they matter, and we need to be reporting any kind of funny business that we experience at the polls. And like Angela said, if we're told that we're not on a list, we need to be asking for provisional ballots. And last but very not least, for sure, we have a voter guide for you. It's bit.ly/Defender22. And if you want to stay in touch with your friends, look at that. And if you want to stay in touch with your friends here at the Frontline, then you can definitely text Frontline to 30403. And that's how you'll stay connected to us. Like we said, if we need to pull back together, we want to do a little call, we want to do a little recap, or you guys just want to hear what we know, we'll be texting out our audience to let you all know everything that we know in real time. So please, if you want to stay up with us, text Frontline to 30403. So friends, here we are. Election night eve. It's a very exciting time. Again, from the bottom of my heart, on behalf of the team, the squad, Maurice, and everybody, thank you to our volunteers. Thank you for being an election defender. Thank you for standing in with your community in your power to make sure people can vote with joy and with dignity tomorrow. I'm really excited for all the pictures I know y'all are going to send and all of the joy and fun that I know you're going to have. So we're going to close out with Reverend Slack. You may know him. Again, if you're a returning Frontline family or election defender family member, to give us an election night eve affirmation. You will not see me again till the other side, friends. So if you haven't voted, go vote. We love you, and we'll see you soon.
I just want all of us to have access to more safety, more resources, more opportunities to just live into our fullest potential and our fullest joy in the world, and freedom from violence of any kind, policing of any kind. These words from Andrea Ritchie are so simple and profound, and yet all the work she has done as an organizer, researcher, advocate, and writer to shed light on state-sanctioned violence against Black women, girls, trans, and gender nonconforming people tells us that our battle to have access to more that is good and healthy and healing is too often hard fought and one not nearly enough. But this moment offers us an opportunity to build upon Andrea's and so many others' work to ensure that our people are cared for and protected. The time and talents we put into keeping people from undermining elections and democracy to their benefit are making a difference. The commitments we make to our people's health and well-being are making a difference. Ushering in a new day is happening right now, and you, all of us, are doing our part to make it so. It's going to take all of us to win. Be blessed, friends, as Election Day approaches.